Coming, coming, coming. Welcome to a Hulkorific Sunday. You're talking blood with Ken and Mike from Angel's Blood. How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you, man?
Man, fantastic. Happy to be alive, except I spilled my favorite beverage, so now I've got a mess to clean up, and I wasted my drink, which I believe is some kind of crime. All right, I'm going to throw up that graphic real quick, though, because I missed it, and I want everyone to see this cool punk graphic. So my name's Ken Lennard. This is Michael Barr, and we are the creators of Angel's Blood. And we are publishing the next issues under our new name, Punk Comics. So I'm cracking myself up because in that doodle video, I keep forgetting there's a cha-ching sound effect.
Yeah,
what's
that from?
What's that? And I just threw that in there for no good reason other than I was playing with a new toy, and I like to play with toys. All right, Sunday is our second one. We did one before. We got the bugs worked out. And, well, what are we here to talk about, Mike?
Good question. How about the launch for number 0, which comes May 10th?
I'm looking forward to that. What's Angel's Blood?
It's a comic book.
I mean,
what?
I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a gap, so I don't want to talk over you.
Okay.
So there, not a lot of people tuned in the first time, and we have about 300 or so followers on our Facebook page right now. So I just wanted to tell everybody what the book is.
Angel's Blood is about a demon that comes to Earth. And needs this priest named Father Miller to find the angel, and he thinks it's a tale of redemption, but the way he goes about it at first is not traditional, and he tries to take a shortcut, but along the way he starts to find things out, different life that he didn't find in his previous life.
Cool, dig it. So as an artist, I met Mike years ago when I was looking for a writer, and he was looking for an artist, and then the miracle of the internet brought us together. And I think it was some kind of serendipity because it was like the right project at the right time and the right two weird guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, obviously, I'm going to say some stuff that you already know because I'm trying to get stuff out to people's head. But I love this book because it's kind of a tale of redemption, but it's also not a typical tale of redemption. It's not like this demon who's like wants to all of a sudden be a good guy. What drew me to your first pitch was that he's stuck in hell. He wants out, but he also doesn't want to be doesn't want to. Sorry, hearing weird noises here in the basement. Something's haunted, I swear. But he's not a good guy either. He's still a very bad guy. He's a demon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so it's your typical like good versus evil story, or the story where the guy realizes the error of his ways and he wants to be a good guy and do right. And he doesn't like the angels either. He doesn't like heaven and hell. He doesn't like heaven or hell. It's what I got out of it. He's looking to be his own thing, which I can really dig and respect. But at the same time, he's still kind of an a-hole.
Yeah. So this journey he's on is kind of like purgatory.
And I like that he doesn't. I like that. I don't think he knows where it's going.
No.
And yet he just knows he's going there.
Yeah.
And however, whatever cost, I feel like he's like just to hell with it, desperate at all costs. Wherever this road leads, that's where I'm going to go. And screw them, screw heaven, screw hell. I'm Golgoth, and I'm gonna rock this stuff. So, I have a series of questions for you that I want to get to. But before I do you have anything you want to say about the book? Because we're on a time constraint today.
Not yet, but something might come up along the way.
Okay, cool. I just laid out some questions because I wanted to keep it going. I know Mike and I have been friends for a long time, and we will talk a lot and ramble out on end like I'm doing right now. So something that's cool about Angel's Blood, and I've got a list, is that it leans on philosophy, and you've
Yes,
got
absolutely.
kind of a background in philosophy.
Yep.
Mike quotes Nietzsche, and there's stuff that makes its way into the book, and then there's stuff I see like on your Facebook or in conversations with you that I think influences the book. And I just wanted to ask you personally, how does your experience or your background in philosophy influence your writing?
Basically, it is question everything except nothing. That makes any sense. So I feel life is just a bunch of journeys, and you don't get any real answers. This sounds really bad coming out of my mouth. It sounded better in my head. Anyway, where are we going with this? I forgot.
How does philosophy work into Angel's Blood specifically?
Okay. I just because reading a lot of philosophy influences a lot of what I write. Whether it's Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, I like Machiavelli, all these different guys. I just totally enjoy reading, and I don't necessarily agree with everything, but the things they talk about, kind of like propels me to think about things differently. Shit, I lost you for a second.
Groovy. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm here.
All right, so
cool. Because so we talk about like the Hulk a lot. We're both huge Hulk fans, and
absolutely.
And so something that draws me to the Hulk and to this project is not just the surface action. The Hulk is great to smash, and I love the fighting like everybody else.
Yeah.
Angel's Blood is great on the surface. There's some violence. Trust me, there's some fighting.
Yeah.
It's a little gross sometimes, a little bloody. It's not for kids.
Definitely not.
I know. So, but that's just the icing on the cake, and the meat of it, is the characters. So you've got this demon who wants to improve himself, and you've got this priest who's got this darker history that we've yet to tap into, which will lead us into the prequel stories we're getting to. And what I like most about that is it allows me a way in to tell a story I can relate to, something about me. Something about Miller is relatable to me. So maybe he's this priest now, maybe he's this pious guy now. But you find throughout the course of the first issue, anybody that has read it, or if you haven't, get it. But you find out that he's not all smiles and roses. He's got a dark side too.
Number Zero gives us a little glimpse into what his background is like, just a taste.
And that's what I like the most about that. And so the Zero. So what we're talking about comics in general. We're talking about ourselves in particular, and we're pushing for this launch of the Angel's Blood Zero project, which started out as stretch goals for the last Kickstarter for Angel's Blood #1. We ended up doing so well that we had to come up with some stretch goals, something more to give people, because we already had issue 1 pretty much done. So we came up with the idea to do some little bit of prequel stories, just a couple of snippets. But it's so interesting that we're taking that project, those stories, and wrapping them into a new Kickstarter to help propel to more and more issues down the road, because Mike's got a lot more story to tell. We have a lot more.
Oh, hell yeah.
So anyway, so this Kickstarter coming up is about the history, a little bit of how they got to who they were before.
Correct.
And how they got to who we meet them in #1. Because in #1, Golgoth is already full-blown demon trying to escape hell, and Miller is, buried his neck and buried his head into the church and hiding, I think, away from the world. That's my words, not yours. But I feel like Miller, when we meet him, is like trying to shut out the world, the way like in older movies, like a nun would like just escape the world by going into her convent and staying there and not even interact with the outside world.
Absolutely, 100%. You're absolutely 100% correct on that.
So I like to think I have some insight to the book because I've been living with it for a while, but at the same time, there's still stories that I myself haven't heard yet. So I'm looking forward to that. So real quick, I'm going to check on our feeds here and see if I'm getting any comments, because I've been having trouble, and I know that Facebook's been having trouble with the comment sections. So Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Mike, can you tell me, Angel's Blood's a horror book. What
Yes.
is your favorite horror movie?
The Shining.
The Shining?
Yeah.
Classic Stephen King, the original?
Yeah. The original, definitely.
Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, he's just awesome in that movie. He really makes you think he's nuts.
Well, I think that might be Jack Nicholson not acting.
I know, right? But
If
yeah,
I have
and
any,
the reason I like that is because something like that kind of like can really happen. You know, somebody just losing their
Mhm.
mind like that.
I can see that. I can see that. Did we talked about this book, that movie recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think on the last
And
one.
that's right, because you were surprised I didn't like The Shining.
Yeah,
And I didn't until I like it more now. But I like the book a lot better. I
I
didn't
never read
like
the
the
book
movie because
though.
I didn't like the movie because I didn't understand The Shining itself. Like what The Shining is in the movie is barely touched on, and in the
Yeah, I
book,
know.
it's really all about the kid. It's all about this
Yep.
psychic power, and the
Yeah.
movie was more about Jack Nicholson going batshit crazy, and that's
Which he did
cool.
a
But
good
I
job
didn't.
at. He did a
He
good job at.
he crushes me. Dude is epic, but I just didn't understand for the life of me what was so cool about it. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a Stephen King story. I got to go find out more. So I picked up the book and read it.
Have not read the book yet. One of these days I might.
It's good. It's worth it. I mean, it's most Stephen King books are there. It's a long read, but I like that. Um, so Angel's Blood. Back to our book. I just always like to tap on that. I think my training as a video store um, employee. When I'm interviewing people, I always ask them what their favorite movie is. And I think that it bears witness to what the genre that we're doing is a horror genre. And I'm not actually a horror fan, which people
Yeah,
find weird.
I'm actually not that
I'm
big
a,
one either.
yeah, I like good
Yeah.
stories, period. So whatever it is, I don't care if it's a horror. I don't like slasher movies
I don't either.
necessarily, but I don't mind them either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get them. When I was younger, I did, but not anymore.
Hello. Okay, that's not good.
What? You lose me?
No, I'm sorry. So I'm still dealing with technical stuff here. I'm trying to check on my Facebook and see comments, and I see I have a comment, but when I started it up, it started playing my video, and then I heard my voice in my ear, and it distracted me. So anyway, we talked about why we're doing Angel's Blood. I think we're both independent creators,
Yep.
and the reason I make comics is because I love making comics, and I can't imagine doing anything else. So even if I had $1 million, if I won the lotto tomorrow, I would still be doing exactly what I'm doing. I'd just do it in a nicer basement with a
Hell
nicer
yeah.
car, you know. So
Yeah.
that's who I am, and I'm going to make comics. I thought about it long and hard for years and years, and everybody has a different idea where to go with your talent or your abilities and make money. And I get suggestions all the time, but like, this is what I love to do. So whether or not I make a living at it, even full time ever, is secondary, because this is what I love to do. I like telling stories, and I like doing it with pictures. So Mike, why do you like making comics? Why do you like writing?
I
What do you like
when I
most?
was when I was 7 years old, I just started writing. I was watching Frankenstein, the classic horror movie, and
Mm.
then I went and read some Hulk comic books after that. And I'm like, you know what? Somebody does this for a living. Why don't I try this? So I started writing at age 7, just pretty much mimicking other stories, trying to develop my own style, which you know it's taken a long time to evolve.
So it leads me to another question I had. And this could be about Angel's Blood in particular, or just yourself as a writer in general. But how do
Hmm.
you think that Angel's Blood, or you, or both, have changed since the beginning of its inception? Angel's Blood was already something that existed before I came on. You had a little thing. You had an existing character design and a bit of a comic there that was in an anthology, and I came on sort of after someone else.
After I
So
fired the guy.
I wasn't going to call anybody out now, but whatever. Um, Trying to
That
be
is a
cool.
bad deal, dude. I don't want to rehash that.
No, not at all, not at all. But what I wanted to get at was, how do you think it's changed from then to now? Because it's very different. Even looking back at the original stuff that you sent me, it looks different. And looking at the stuff you've sent me for the next issue, like your writing's different. So, and what do you think is different than a million years ago when we started?
I just think I'm evolving as a writer. I always try to challenge myself to get better. Not satisfied with being this is good enough. Obviously, because how many times have I done edits, rewrites, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
To me, it's just like trying to find the perfect words for the perfect panel, or sometimes lack of words in order to move the story along.
As an artist, I appreciate that.
I think we talked about this before.
Yeah. So, and again, I'm talking about stuff that you and I have talked about already, just so that anyone watching this can get a little insight into what we're doing. But we've had discussions about, comic writing is different from other kinds of writing because you want to tell at least half of your story with pictures and not words.
Yep.
And the words and the pictures support each other. I really think it's 50-50.
It is.
Personally, I mean, I would love to do a enough said wordless comic someday, but you still need a writer for that, right?
Yeah.
You still need someone to write a good story. Just so it doesn't necessarily need dialogue, but you have to be good. My man Kevin Smith, I bring this up all the time, but Kevin Smith is a great writer. I love his movies. I hate his comic books because
I've never read the comic books.
He doesn't know how to cut it down. I love the guy, but he doesn't know how to be brief. Mm-hmm. And that works great when you're making movies and you can talk a mile a minute on end or do a live Q&A like he does. I've bought all of his Q&As on video. They're hilarious. The guy might as well be a stand-up comic. But when it comes to writing a comic book where you don't want to cover everything up with word bubbles, the dude does not quite have it. So that kind of thing. It's a different skill.
You see other writers do that. It's not just him, but that would drive me nuts too. It's like some of it was just unnecessary writing, and it's like,
and it's
come
a very
on,
different
man.
skill.
Yeah,
totally different skill. I'm checking my phone message. So, guys, I apologize to anyone who's trying to talk to us on. Oh, okay. Hey, I'm getting comments on all of my wife. Thank you, wife. Facebook. So I was on. In fact, my man, I want to shout out Ted Davies, who gave me the idea to start doing these live streams and telling me how and stuff. A little bit of tutorial because he's another comic book creator from Michigan. Tonight at 7:00, he launched his new book, Grim 101, and as of the live stream, he ended his right before I started mine, and he was already more than half funded.
Wow!
For his Kickstarter. So good luck, Ted. It's a great book. It looks. I want to plug him all day, but I'll do that on another stream because me and Mike got like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Look for Ted Davies Artistry on Facebook, TED Talks, and Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube, and that's all you need to know about that. Angel's Blood comic book on Facebook. That's us. I have a graphic here for that somewhere. I just like I'm doing this because I want to do more of it, right? So if I had. Like I said, if I have $1 million, I'd still be doing exactly what I'm doing. I don't have $1 million, and I'd love to do more comics, more and more comics. So the more I can build up, get the word out about what we're doing here and the things that we have coming up, the better off we all are and the better are. Let's put this up. See, looking for a May launch. Social media. All right, fine. Lost my train of thought. Mike, if you did win, like say you won the lottery, and could do anything besides write a comic book, what would you do?
Oh, man. Be a gardener.
Gardener?
Yep.
You're kidding me. What would you garden? Really? That's a thing?
Yeah.
That is so the opposite of me. Yeah?
Yeah.
Really? So I am like, I'm gonna shout out Primatine Mist because I'm allergic to everything in the outdoors. So I am not going to be a gardener.
So is my wife, dude. My wife totally. I saw you using the inhaler earlier. I'm like, oh man.
This time of year, stuff's growing and pollen's coming up, and I have it's not bad. I have a little bit of asthma though, so I keep my inhaler handy. And I don't enjoy gardening and weeding and nature as much as some other people. My wife is the opposite. Love you, honey. She would be outside all the time if she could. I think everything outdoors is trying to kill me at every given moment. Mike, all right, I got one last question for you, and that is this. So let's say we're getting some followers. We have some fans. We have some friends and family and friends and people who've read the first issue. Hopefully they start to get interested and check out the 0 issue and then issue 2, etc. With Angel of Blood, what do you want people to take away? Anyone that reads their stories.
I like them to first of all, be entertained, and second of all, just think about things, especially in this age of the digital, cyber age, whatever, because this comic actually at some point will lead more towards political things that are going on in the country and stuff like that. That's unavoidable, and it's inevitable in the story. So, I just think about things. That's all.
I like that. I think that's what drove me to it again from the start, was that it's provocative. It's intentionally provocative. It plays with the conception of good and evil, and it challenges you to think about right and wrong. And
I don't believe in black and white. There's shades of gray, man.
That's life. There really isn't any. Anything in an extreme is usually a bad thing. Too much of this, too much of that. I think, and you talk about politics now. Well, I won't get into politics now. We don't have enough time. But we just came out of. I say out of. We're not done with. But the last 4 or 5 years have been a really divisive political time, and I think anything that is taken too far to an extreme is inherently unhelpful and unhealthy. But again, so Angel's Blood tackles some of that. Angel's Blood shows you the gray in Father Miller. He looks like one thing. He's all pious and quiet and calm to a point.
First impressions.
And throughout the book, and again, get number 1. It's available on Indie Planet now, or hit me and Mike up on our Facebooks or emails or something. KENversations.net. And I will help people get a copy, because we've got copies and we can always make more. But what I like, both are main characters, right? They're like both protagonists. Miller starts out this way, and then Galgal starts out this other way, and he's just hardcore from the start. But you start to get this. There's a page I really love where I show him in hell. He's got this internal monologue. Spoiler alert: he's from hell. He's got this monologue and stuff where he kind of talks about the history of it and where he's coming from and why he doesn't like it anymore, and he does, he's not what you think is this horrible demon that's 100% bad to the core. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to give away. I don't know where he's going yet myself, because I haven't read all the future issues Mike's still got cooking, but he's all gray area. You talk about the angels and the demons that we haven't even met yet, and there's gray area. The angel that falls, the whole premise of the story, that they're looking for this angel, it brings about a gray area. Like, is it right or wrong? I don't even know who I'm rooting for at this point still. And I've been working on this book for over a decade. But, this fallen angel, and it's all about the angel's blood. It's very well titled because it's about this finding the corpse of this fallen angel. And you don't know if you want heaven to win to find it first, or if you want hell to find it first, which is better for humanity. And again, so that just takes us through all this gray area. I think the book really taps into that in a way that's entertaining and fun, like the old Spawn comics were when, in the 90s, that, again, we're both fans of. Big shout out to, there's still Spawn comics, and Todd Mcfarlane's doing a whole slew of a new Spawn universe right now, because the dude just doesn't quit.
The best artist ever. Best comic book artist, I should say.
I love Todd McFarlane. I can go on and on about how much he influenced my style too. Talking about all the little details and things that when I make books, I'm trying to make books for someone like who I was when I was 17. So whatever kid is sitting there looking at my art, I want him to see a million things in it. I want him to read it over and over and get something different every time.
That's why I like that splash page of number 0 with the Miller story. Perfect. I think I said that last time, but
you did, and I will take those pats on my back, sir. I'm okay. We got a few minutes left, but I want to I want to plug Angel's Blood 1 because everybody should get it. We have a limited audience that's read it so far. Thanks to everyone that got it. There's going to be more. The 0 story gives us even more. And I think personally, when I first started out, Angel's Blood was my first stab at a real book. Like I had been drawing, I didn't even draw in the correct proportions for a comic book back in the day. I draw on like a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with a disposable Bic rollerball pen and make my comic book submissions for Image or DC or Marvel or whatever. And when Angel's Blood came about, it was right at the time when I was going to start getting real, taking it seriously. And so I think I've gotten better. I hope I've gotten better. I've learned a lot more about how to refine art, make better lines, cleaner lines. Angel's Blood #1, though, still has a rawness about it that I love. And I've spent time trying to get it back. I went way the other side with my style, where I started, I started working in comics and I started making comics and getting jobs in comics. And then I was doing superhero comics and things that required a much cleaner look, like this kind of stuff, here. And I've gotten away from that edgy, raw, rough, amateurish, and not to insult myself because I love the art in Angel's Blood, but it was raw because I didn't know a lot of better techniques. And as I learned more techniques, I started to lose some of the energy that I think I had for Angel's Blood #1. So I'm bringing that intentionally to Angel's Blood 0. That's how I think, for me and from my side, to answer the question I asked you, that's how I think that the art at least has changed the most, is that I've been working on it for years and years and years, and I've gotten more polished. So hopefully I can combine a more professional look to my work with some of that edginess. And I'm not even going to show you guys any stuff yet. Closer to it, there'll be something in the previews, but because some of that stuff with the hatchet, and there's some stuff coming up that's hopefully raw and got some energy to it like the old book did. That's the end of my day, Mike. We talked a little bit about everything I thought we should talk about. This week coming up, I don't know if I'm going to get to talk to people very much, and we are planning to wrap up and do another really good Kickstarter, hopefully. That's all I got. I feel like I should have a good wrap up for this, and I don't. So just want to wrap it up by saying support indie comics. Mike, you have anything you want to say before we sign off?
Thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in.
Thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in, if you didn't tune in and you're watching this later, thanks for watching it later, because it's going to be up. And I know, 8 o'clock on a Sunday is not everybody's time to tune into YouTube. I know some people are probably upstairs watching TV, at least at my house. So thanks, Mike. We'll talk again soon. We got a lot to catch up on.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man.
Peace.